my journey and stay very comfortable as I move on to the stage today. More important, I thank the entire administration, faculty, as well as students of NITEC, specifically Kshema here, who actually have taken the responsibility as well as I would say the privilege of organizing an event in the name of Swami Vivekananda. And more important, I thank them for giving me an opportunity to be amidst them. In fact, it's something like homecoming for me. In fact, 3 years back, I had addressed all the Dakshin Kannada principals of PU college in the same hall. Okay, and that was just before COVID. All the PU principals had addressed. And more important now is because it seems to be homecoming because virtually everybody here is from Mysore Medical College in one way or the other. I'm aware of people over there. So morning, my day began with Dr. Shripad Mayandil calling me and reminding me that I am in his town and I'm going to be in this institution too. And he also said that he would be here soon for the question answer session. I also find your medical superintendent and the vice dean also my juniors from Mysore Medical College. So we all have been contemporaries in the college and we have seen each other during that period. I belong to the 84 batch and I think Dr. Sumalata from 85 batch, 86 batch, and Dr. Jaiprakash Shetty from 87 batch. So all of us are from this. So Dr. Shripad and I actually work together, and I also got a call from Dr. K.R. Bhagwan, who is also a surgeon over here from Mysore Medical College. So a lot of people over here, so for me it's real homecoming. So thank you all for making this event, I would say, memorable for me. Well, it's extremely difficult to speak on a person like Swami Vivekananda, whose entire personality is multi-dimensional. And probably there is not even one element of the domain of knowledge and humanism that he has not touched. If you are talking about Tesla cars today, Tesla was guided by Swami Vivekananda. In fact, not Tesla cars may not have been created by Tesla, but I'm talking about Tesla himself as a scientist was actually guided by Swami Vivekananda. In fact, if you look at science as a domain, there's a very big, I would say, a very popular book, Swami Vivekananda, an intuitive scientist, written by Professor T.G.K. Murthy, who was a honored scientist in ISRO and was part of the first Antarctica mission design, etc. And he has written a beautiful book. In fact, he quotes a lot of the relationship right from Indian Institute of Science, which got created at the insistence of Swami Vivekananda. Medicine is not one domain that he has not untouched. Very few people know that even before the so-called preventive and promotional medicine started off in its right spirit, when malaria was at its peak in Bengal, Swami Vivekananda published letters, pamphlets, and also started talking to that amongst his brother disciples to just ensure that the neighborhood is clean and you take boiled and cool water. In fact, instead of going behind chloroquine as the first, this one, he looked at preventive. So easy task, but at the same time it's a big honor. Well, I'm speaking to a set of audience, all youngsters, and probably right now about 40 years back, I was probably like this in Mysore Medical College. And I'm sure a lot of you have joined with a lot of aspirations into medicine. Am I right in saying that? It was a dream come true to many. And I'm sure this college was not different in asking you the first question. First day, why did you join this? Were you asked? Yes? So what did you answer? What did you answer? Any person bold enough to get up and answer, share their opinion? Huh? we join medicine? Are we a swarm of bees that everybody is moving the same direction because the wind is blowing in that? Is it true? No? Then what else? In fact, I was also asked the same question in our day. We were in 1984, the first batch. I still remember vividly the same question being asked that day also. And I was not wanting to be in medicine, I can tell you this. All my dream was actually to be an engineer from Indian Institute of Science. I don't know why. I started earning my bread when I was 5th standard because we had a set of cows, we used to milk cows, sell milk, cow dung, cakes, etc. Then go to the college and have school. But never seen Bangalore also from Mysore. And suddenly, somewhere the dream hit that I should study in Indian Institute of Science, I should become a B.Tech engineer. In those days, electronics was something very popular, so that I would become an electronics engineer. Okay. Only realized at the end of 12th standard when I actually applied to Indian Institute of Science, I just did not know the address. How popular Indian Institute of Science. I just wrote to the director, Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and the card reached. And I got the prospectus. Okay. And the prospectus said I have to do BSc before joining B.Tech. They came first gunshot on my dream. So what do? You all went through the NEET exam, huh? So probably NEET is new. In our batch was the first CET examination in the country. In fact, for the world. Because CET is something that India is to be proud of. Karnataka initiated it. And that was being aped by everybody, including the China, that we follow up in many things. Okay. So, we were the first batch of CET. And we had no counseling at that point of time. And I was no interest in medicine. So, I said I'll join an engineering college and I'll go into electronics. And knowing my family's plight, where my father's pension was 168 rupees in those days per month. So, and I was the eldest son. So I said Mysore is better. So I had only 2 colleges, JC and NIE. And the third college was the UVCE, probably many of you might know, University College of Engineering in University Vishweshwara College of Engineering in Bangalore. So 3 colleges I applied. And I didn't want to join medicine. I applied for medicine because my father told me, you have got good marks in PCMB. Why the hell you are not appearing? I said, I'll appear in all this. Okay. And the only reason I wanted to write a business, so I filled the application. And what did I do? So the best way to get rid of this medicine was to make it so difficult for the selectors that I never get the seat. So what I did, I applied only one choice. We had 13 medical colleges in those days. 2 of 11 were there, 2 were just beginning. JSS Medical College and Alamein Medical College, but just got included in the list for that year. And I just wrote Mysore Medical College, only one college. So I'm pretty sure because the whole merit seat in those days were hardly around 400. And I was pretty sure I not get that college. And I can simply say I didn't get the seat, so what? But chance had its factors, and medicine was the list first announced. Engineering never got announced. You know why? Why I initiated with that question and now continue? The world doesn't change much. Those days also in the very first CET exam, all the engineering colleges, there were 36 colleges in those days, and all of them went to the court for a seat sharing formula. And it never got resolved till the 6 months is over, and they did not. Even today they go to the court now. Every other day there is some political ranking going on between seat sharing issues. Those days all that went on. So my seat, though I was supposed to have got ACE electronics, never got announced. And medicine got announced. So I kept on waiting till the last but one day when I know the choice but to see won't join. And that's the reason I went to the college and my first question was this: what do I do now? Okay. I can tell you honestly. That day I did not think so much about it. But today I realize That's the best way to move forward. I just got up and said, I'm waiting for my engineering results. Because I thought it's the best way to tell the truth and forget about it. But now I tell you, in fact, if somebody is a liar, he should be really intelligent, and his RAM, the random access memory, should be the most sound one. Because they have to keep on remembering what I told him, tell the other person what I told these two people, tell the third person. How much difficult to manage your memory, you tell me. Okay, but for telling the truth, it's a spinal reflex. You don't even require your memory. Okay. To keep yourself light, I think just get into the truth. I got it. And Professor Rajgopal, I don't know whether Dr. Sumalata and Dr. Viveka Shetty were there when Dr. Rajgopal was a physiology professor. He had moved on, he had gone to Saudi. He was the professor and he just got up and asked, he suddenly, he was amazed by this statement. He was 40th in the first list. And looking at us and telling me an answer like this, and that too in those days, Mysore might have slipped down in terms of their current ranking. But in those days, Mysore Medical College was number one in the state. In fact, I still remember Professor Jadhav, who was I would say, walking encyclopedia of medicine, saying that, do you know, in the Mayo Clinic forward, they have written, even the alumni of Mysore Medical College have passed through this corridors. And that was the pride Mysore Medical College had. And here is a fool standing in front of the professor and saying that, I'm waiting for my engineering results. And you know what he did? The next moment, he was such a professor. I still appreciate the way faculties manage. He didn't get perturbed up, though innerly probably he was a little disturbed. He just asked me, how much did you pay? I thought it was a very absurd question for my answer. Because who will ask how much did you pay in a medical college, in a government college? And I said, I didn't know, but I did not have the courage to get up and say, why did you ask this question? I just answered 561 rupees. Do you know how much it costs? 561 rupees for 1 year, including admission fees and other things. And from then onwards, it was just 403 rupees, 2 rupees per year. 200 rupees once, 202 rupees once. Semesters we used to pay. Okay, but 561 rupees, that's 4 times my father's salary, 4 months salary at that point of time. And he said, how much did you pay? I thought it was an easy question. I said, please. He said 561. He did not stop. Immediately, he looked out. Here you are in an air-conditioned closed room. You have no doors and windows. Really obvious for you. For us in Mysore Medical College, the Maharaja has built. The windows are larger than the doors itself. And the doors, you can't even imagine how the doors are. And all of us never get bored because the main road is, Irving Road is there. If you just look around, you can keep on watching, and whatever the professor talks, you will be enjoying. He just looked out of the window and said, if you continue in medicine, how much more will you pay? I thought it was even more irrelevant. But I used a little bit of mathematics. So I said, maybe I paid 500, another 4 years, 2,000 rupees. So I said, another 2,000 rupees. He was not satisfied with that. He asked the next question. How much do you think government pays to make you a doctor? I was not a genius in general knowledge. So I just took down there for a bit of minute. And then he himself said, 2 lakh rupees. And he did not stop. He just looked out of the window. Do you know who pays for it? All the people. Swinging his hand, he just showed me the road. In fact, from the first question to the last question, the entire scenario, my entire mood changed. And I had not heard about Vivekananda, the Vivekananda way, or gone to Ramakrishna Ashram, or this one. But being in India and today in the world, there's very few people who can escape his slogan somewhere or the other. You have an organized lecture here, but there are times somewhere some speech somebody would have quoted. I don't know why I recollected. I recollected the only slogan that came to my mind at that point of time. So long as millions live in hunger and ignorance, I call each person a traitor, who having been educated at the cost of the millions, pay not the least heed to them. I don't know why I recollected it. I don't know where it came from. Sometimes I feel Vivekananda is so shrewd that he enters wherever you are. Okay, and that's how Vivekananda entered into my life. And that was the day this one. So till that time, I suddenly realized all my life, coming from I would say below poverty like background, but at the same time very meritorious most of the time. Everybody remembers me in my primary school because of the only badges that I had on my ties. Okay, from Nirmala Convent to Demonstration School to Mahajanas College and now to Mysore Medical College. Everywhere I was actually provided free ship. And in Mysore Medical College I was paying for a 2 lakh course 2,000 rupees. I felt indebted. My journey changed. Engineering didn't still lasted till my professor once blasted me after my first internals in anatomy. That was after February in 1985 that finally the results came out and I had got this JC electronics. I still got tempted. One professor, Saraswati, was there, anatomy professor. She was my table tutor. She was more like a friend to me in this one. She started, how many of you don't know Kannada here? Okay. So she immediately says, are you crazy? Because I just talked to anatomy internal assessment and my results to this one and I completed the first semester. Those days there were no semesters, but I'm talking about the first 6 months was over and the result was there. And on the fees also it was written 1,150 rupees I have to pay. Oh, and yet I have to pay 2,000 to get relieved and 1,100 there, enough. So I just walked over, but I don't regret. So the dream, but at the same time, the 40 colleges that I say, I know my classmates who all kept on saying many things, but many of you might have repeated also. Why did you join medicine? I want to do humanitarian service. Why did you join medicine? I'm inspired by my general practitioner. Why did you join medicine? My parents inspired me to take up that very great profession. It's a noble profession. Okay, it's a pride for anybody. And somebody, even they will tell service, etc. And all my classmates were talking about it. And I'm sure we had our dreams, and we have our dreams when we joined the college. I'm sure many of you are practicing faculty would agree with me the next slide that I put. Yes. When I enter medicine, I want to do free to practice with compassion. Means you want to pour out your thoughts, pour out your empathies to your child or to your patient. You want to make evidence-based clinical judgment the rule. You want to practice integrity. Integrity, what do you mean by integrity? Integrity is not wearing a helmet when a police is seen. Integrity is remembering that the head is more important than the helmet, and helmet has to be there to protect your head. While we have all the covers for our laptop phones, we don't want to protect our own head. Because this is only just about maybe 50,000, 60,000 rupees, but this requires the front glass, the back cover, etc. But our head is free, no? Our parents gifted us this body. So we don't value it. So we don't require it. So integrity is about really believing and practicing and nobody observes you. But what is the reality today? The cultural values of many organizations. You will see a lot of workload, everybody sweating, perspiring. Loss of personal agency, you have forgotten about why you came into the college, why you did medicine, why you want to practice, all forgotten because all those dreams have all somewhere doctors are supposed to be rich now. Is there a history of, or the history or ancestry of doctors where somebody says that Bada Vaidya? Is there anything like that? You heard about Bada Meshru, means poor teacher. Have you heard about a poor doctor? Never. So we thought that should be our pride, our professions, our pocket should be full. So things have completely changed. Suddenly, if you look back and see things today, the next slide will show you what exactly we are seeing. I've interacted with this one. In fact, I've got different levels. At 2018, Yogesh Sharma, working in Udaipur, he had an opinion. Then I realized there are blogs written about it. Tracy Asmoth, as lately as 2020, after the COVID break, is still talking about the same thing in Canada. So the fact is, all of us have gone into different this one. The major four things that seems to be affecting us at all times are problems today. Younger doctors are facing anxiety. Not just anxiety, insecurity also. Because I have been part of the Government of India system for the last 3 years, being an advisor at the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. We know we are deficient in doctors. We have the Namsai in Arunachal Pradesh, Sonabhadra in Uttar Pradesh. I can keep on quoting many states there, where the whole district, which has got nearly 20 lakh population, has one gynecologist, one anesthetist. 66% of the colleges and the medical professionals are there in the 6 southern states: Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra, Telangana, and add Maharashtra, we'll cross 66 also. Okay, all of us are there. So we are fighting amongst each other. So there is increase in seats. Today, when I went into the government system, it was around 51,000 is the seats. Today is 1,08,000 medical seats. Postgraduate seats, it was around 30. It has already reached 66. And it is going to be reaching equal to the medicine seat, like only America has got more postgraduate seats than undergraduate seats. Okay, that's why all Westerners also can, Easterners also can go and join them. Otherwise, all of us had less. So, no competition for you when you get into postgraduate. You have to just choose which college you are in. In fact, a lot of super specialist courses are already vacant. So suddenly it has hit job security. And if I walk into this one, do you know, countrywide, if I go out to this one, 40% of the doctors' vacancies in government hospitals are vacant. Why? On one side, you are all struggling in the same road. You have 7 medical colleges in Bangalore. Probably the density of population, only Puducherry crossed you. Okay? Because Puducherry has more medical colleges than Bangalore now. And it is till now, Bangalore had the pride. Bangalore has lost that pride. Okay, but if you want allied health sciences together, Bangalore will still come up. Okay. So suddenly you have found yourself in a corporate world, no jobs. Okay, and everybody is now deciding whether to take you as a consultant, whether you are to be given only space for practicing. Okay, cash for service as they call it. So you get your cash only if you do service. Okay, and service is a very different domain altogether. So there is complete confusion whether I want to get into the rural belt or an urban area. Okay, urban is in more chaos than rural, because rural at least some people know where the sub-center is there, where is the PHC, there is something called Anganwadi, something called ANM. Some PHC medical office still pride of place, and it can be a landmark for your house also. But I am not sure the same thing happens in urban areas. Anybody remembers where in Bangalore the Anganwadis are there, or the urban primary health centers are there? Absolute role confusion among doctors today. We don't know what we want to do. I am scaring you people. Because that's the reality of the world that you are going to enter. So, loss of autonomy. Today, the corporate boss will decide. I vividly remember a situation. This happened in Apollo. I don't know which Apollo. My own mother was having a there was a neighbor, because we had taken a semi-special ward, so there were 2 beds. And the person who was actually admitted was a 70-year-old man who was a diabetic, who was admitted, and he had a lot of osteoarthritis. And I saw within the second day, the doctor, first the nurse came, then the duty doctor came, then the doctor came, one after the other, coming and pestering that old man to go home. And that person is continuously saying, because he was from the Hindi belt, but his son was working in an IT company, he said, my house is 23 kilometers from here. You have advised me physiotherapy for 10 days. My son cannot bring him every day because morning he leaves at 6:30 to Electronic City. So let me stay here, complete my physiotherapy and go. If it's already 3 days, another 7 days you allow me. I'll pay for the bill, anything, I'm going to be here. He said, no, you have to be discharged. You can travel from home. He said, I can't travel. Okay, they're saying you can take a Ola. 70-year-old man with a 65-year-old wife, they want them to travel for physiotherapy. For half an hour physiotherapy, why do you want to stay in the hospital? He says, that's the only way I can get the therapy complete. Otherwise, I can't get the therapy. Okay. He says, no. Then, being a neighbor, suddenly, with the medicine profession, so I walked up and asked him, why the hell are you pushing this old man to go home? Anyway, he's going to pay. Then he asked me who I am. I just explained to him. And then he called me by side and said, sir, I have to humbly tell you that I have no control of this. My boss would call me and tell me, are you running a hospital or a hospitality industry? I said, what does it mean? He said, basically they think hospital and hotels should work differently, sir. I said, what is the difference? Sir, in the hospital, the first day when I enter, I get lot of clinical investigations done. So there is revenue beyond the bed cost or the ward cost for the hospital. Then after that there will be some intensive therapy or some surgical event that is happening. So that is the second. Then what? He said, third day there will be some high dependency unit care and some other care. So there is some other thing. After that fourth day there will be the ward, no sir. Then you will come down to only ward charges. So how can we retain? So we have to discharge when there is no additional revenue. They can come, they can be on domiciliary care because the bed has to earn more than the ward charge. And otherwise I will get shot out from this hospital. So please don't intervene because it is my bread. This is what a doctor specialist telling in a big hospital. That's why I talked about loss of autonomy, loss of purpose. You don't know why you exist. So you're not other. You're trying to appease your cause, you're trying to protect your job. Are we in that play? I'm sorry to say, coming from Delhi and having traveled to 25 states and union territories in the last 3 years, I can vouch things are not very different. So practicing is without alignment with your own core values. Your dream, everything is gone. Unsure of patient and the community, and we have a terrible problem. We don't know the patient, we don't know the community also. We are afraid of the patient. We think we getting into the air conditioned room, sitting over there, I am the boss. Hamara kutta, hamara gali mein share. Because patient will come, people will come, you will decide who will come, when they will go out, you will have 2 security guards to move around with. Okay. Professional jousting, not enough. We have our own professional problems. Somebody will pass disparaging remarks against someone else's treatment. Just to get one upmanship for that moment with that patient. But we are ruining ourselves, we are ruining the system. Is it true? Perfect. Violence against doctors has become common. Today you care, but today we are in a wiki system. Even Karnataka has announced that doctors' care will be at home. So now you go around with a gunman. Because you had police stations in every hospital, but now you can't take police station everywhere. So you're going into Swiggy mode, so you'll have to carry. So the PN writer for your person will always be one security guard now. just now, while speaking about it, talked about trust. I really appreciate that value because trust is the universal currency of the world. It's not rupees, it is not dollars, it is not euros. You have come to join this college, believing this college will serve your purpose. And you have to wait for 5 years to know whether it's happening or not. Everybody is employed over here has to wait for 31 days at least to get their salary. And you trust the system saying that they are going to pay you. Otherwise you would have asked the salary every day. Isn't it? You get married because you trust each other. You are friends because you trust each other. You get a owner and I would say house on rent or room on rent because they trust you. So if you don't build the trust value, there's no way you can go on. And today we have no trust. Patients don't trust us. Community doesn't trust us. Our professional colleagues don't trust us. Our own subordinates don't trust us. Am I right in saying it? Reflect. The rat race for specialization is on. Do you know? The whole country's health system has been changing since COVID. Primary health care, the operation is 160,000 health and wellness centers across the state country. The package of services which was only limited to reproductive child health is now from pregnancy to palliative care. Mental health, elderly care, palliative care, emergency care, eye care, ENT care, oral care. Even our ASHA functionary is actually going to households to bring out a community-based assessment checklist of common ailments. Previously she was looking at mothers and children, today she looks at every person on the list. 70% of the problems of health, both on preventive, promotive, curative, rehabilitative and palliative, is solved at the health and wellness center today, which is at an average in India of 2.5 kilometers. Balance 20% of people, they are on a telemedicine network today. Because you know specialists don't do procedures every time you come. So they do telemedicine. The country is having 5 lakh teleconsultations a day right now. So if you are looking at this domain, there is a complete and specialization. Maybe if the specialization goes, family medicine is already being made optional as for PHC postings. So you'll all become family medicine practitioners is what the hope is. So nearly 90% of the, in fact it has been clearly said health and wellness centers will be a gatekeeping function. So specialists have to be unburdened because today you come to a medical college for a running nose and stand in a queue and spend the whole day. Okay, that can be solved 2.5 kilometers from your house. Whether it's a mental health drug or an NCD drug, you are available there. Things are changing. So what are we up to? Dehumanized clinical care, as I told you, because we are only dealing with equipments. Everything is an equipment, earning is an equipment, practice is an equipment, everything is equipment. So everybody is watching in this one. And as an anesthetist, I also know now we get bored with the anesthesia in this one because once everything is fixed, like Dr. Shilpa, you ask him, he is comfortably sitting here because he already started the case and come over here. Okay? It's aram se running. So he has to go when the exturbation has to. So rest of the time, lot of things is monitored. Yes, we are supposed to be eternally vigilant, but we get more attracted to our phone than the vigilance. So then deprofessionalize public health. Yes, laymen and women can take public health to people. Deprofessionalization does not mean taking away skills. Professional definition we have borrowed from the IT system, income tax system, which only defines about 10 to 12 cadres as professionals. A cook can be a professional, a gardener can be a professional, an assistant can be a professional because professional has only 3 qualities. Competency in the skills that they have to deliver, reliability in terms of timeliness and quality of delivery, and third, respectfulness in the service to be rendered. These are only 3 things that are required to be a professional. Who doesn't want? You want somebody who is not competent to cook? No. Who doesn't come to you on time and cook? Reliability is not there? No. And who doesn't respectfully do the work? If these 3 are there, then anybody. Conflict in work-life balance. Is it practical? So these are issues that are coming next. So if you are looking at this, all the questions that we have is because we have poor skills, we have poor focus on research, we have poor focus on living essentials of life also. Okay, you want to run a house, you require team building and finance management. You want to open a clinic, you need to know how to manage your team because it's people skills. Can you live in a house without people skills? You'll be fighting every day. That's what is happening and divorces are happening. You don't want to manage your house? Income expenditure statement? That's it. But whatever you do, you require all these things. Where are we here? Next. But how do we improve? How can we get back to all these things that we actually so fondly look for? Is it practical? We just talk about knowledge. What exactly is knowledge? Where is that knowledge? Can we become better physicians, better communicators, better people? And more important, if you're good people, better team builders. Can we ensure that healthcare is provided to every human being walking on the road, wherever they are, however they are? Can we ensure that? I'm sure this is required even at our home, because our people also. Can we simply sit back and say, because we are all big doctors? Okay. Don't worry, we'll be 1 in 8 of this country shortly. Okay, so every 8 person would be a doctor, unless and otherwise proven. So can we sit back with our ego and say that nothing can be done? What can we do? Things work on. Okay. This is how we are, this is how this country is, and we manage ourselves. So neither we are going to be happy, nor the people are going to be happy. Is that the scenario we are dreaming about? No. Then what is the answer? Where do we look for? Is it available in the APMC market? Is it available only in the medical colleges? Where is that knowledge that we are trying to look for? And that's where Swami Viveka comes in. So the whole issue is about, we talk about all the next. So if you want to create this money, who is going to create? How are we going to create is the question that we are trying to answer. So maybe we need to now flip the problem. We have complained enough. We spoke about the doctor, we spoke about my professor, we spoke about the hospital management, we spoke about people's violence, we have spoken about everybody. Do you think they will solve the problem now? Waiting for it? For our age to go by? Our life to be passed on? Maybe not. This is where the good. This is where Vivekananda's first thought came, or is relevant to us. World is only a gymnasium. We have come here to strengthen our muscles. The world will remain like a bull worker. Whenever you go and pull the entire thing, the bull worker, does the bull worker change its shape? No, you leave it, it goes back. So the bull worker will remain in the same way, however it is. It is your muscles which get strengthened by being in this world. So are you here to look at world as a gymnasium or crib about the world? In gymnasium, there will be aches and pains. For whose benefit? So this world is meant for us. So if this world is more complex, you have the best of the gym. It is like you have a cardio center also attached to the gym, because everything is available for you to strengthen yourself. Do you agree with that mindset? This is the first thing that you need to look at. So the whole thought process, so world is a gymnasium where we have come to strengthen ourselves. The world will remain as it is, but we can go back more contented and happy. Are we ready for it? Then how do you go about it? First and the foremost thing, believe in yourself. We are the makers of it. We have got somewhere, Swamiji also has spoken about it. We talk about karma theory, because we are all, it is all my karma. What can I do? Yes, 100% is your karma. How can you fail? Yesterday you didn't study, you will have to fail today. How can you not fail? Okay. Yesterday you didn't prepare yourself, you are not confident in a Viva. Definitely not. How can you be with this one? So that karma cannot change, because everything of today is built on past actions. This is all the theory that everybody spoke about. But Vivekananda flipped it. What did he say? Karma actually is a positive theory. does it mean? If you are actually looking at past actions resulting in today's status, and you have no control to change the past action, accept it. So don't get distressed about it. Because yesterday's problems. Yesterday I didn't do it, so whatever my past actions has resulted in my state today. Accept it. But remember immediately, tomorrow's results are based on today's actions. Start off today. So the issue of karma is a more positive outlook. To look at, not to repeat about the past, but be constructive about the future. Are you ready for it? So let us not trip over what is happening in Apollos and what is happening in the government, what is happening in the people. These are all past. Can it be changed? It all depends on what you do today. What you do tomorrow, that will decide your future. This is your first thing. The second, we all talked about so much of theism. Who is a theist? Or who is an atheist? Because theist is not known. Atheist is known. So who is an atheist? Can somebody tell about it? Who is an atheist? Who does not believe in God? Yes. This was the old slogan. Swamiji changed that also. He said, the old generation spoke about, if you believe in God, he is atheist. If you don't believe in God, atheist. The new definition is, if you don't believe in yourself, you are an atheist. If you believe in yourself, you are a theist. Do you believe in yourself? Because there is no way you can believe in anything else when you don't believe in yourself. So the first and the foremost thing is, you have faith in yourself. Are you ready for it? Very difficult question to answer, no? Because you have never trusted the most intimate friend of yours. That is yourself. Because you have never talked to that person 10 minutes in a day, but you spoke 50 minutes with all other people around the world. On your telephone, on WhatsApp, etc. But you never spent 10 minutes talking to your own conscience to say that who you are. So if you start doing it and start believing in what you are, then that faith is what is required in you. Let us all understand the fact. Our character is, as Swamiji says, is a sum total of impressions on your mind. And that sum total of impressions in your mind comes from your actions. So the main precursor for your character is your actions. An action, not one superlative action coming onto a stage and doing a mimicry and walking off. It is every moment, everything, petty, minute that you do, all creates an impression. And that sum total of impressions create a character. And this character is this one. Somebody asked him, why should I be moral? Why should you be moral? The only answer he gave was to strengthen your will. It is such a mathematical formula. When you are moral, your willpower is very high. And when your willpower is very high, what happens? You become courageous. Correct? And when you are courageous, you lose fear. You get into fearlessness mode. And when you are fearless, you can face the brute of the world. Make sense? So all that it requires for you to face the brute of the world is to be you being morally upright. And what is morality? Not in textbooks and stories. They are all reflecting boards. Morality comes from the very single word that he gave as a definition. Don't complicate morality. Morality stands in only one word answer from Swami Vivekananda. Morality is unselfishness. Anything selfish is immoral, anything unselfish is moral. So whenever you think that you are acting unselfishly, you are acting morally. So action creates your character, character creates your will, and please remember it is your will which actually manifests as thoughts, and that thought is what creates your machines, your cities, your people, your patients, your queues, everything. So without your thought, nothing works. So I would say each of it is actually a And how do you actually practice? Is it practical at all? The most important thing that we need to appreciate, as Swamiji says, is to have an ideal. Because a person with an ideal will make only 1,000 mistakes. A placement person without ideal will make 50,000 mistakes. So do you want 50,000 mistakes or 1,000 mistakes? It doesn't make you perfect, but it will make you strive for perfection. But what is that ideal that we are talking about? We always talk about it. All of us had a goal, no? Wanted to become doctor. Fantastic. That is a goal. That is not an ideal. Because the doctor became a profession. But an ideal is for your life. For Gandhi ji, Satya and Ahimsa was an ideal. Because the moment he took about anything that he vetted was in that ideal. Ideal is very deep, which influences both your profession and personality. And when you embrace it, that virtually flows through every life component of yours. So, embrace that ideal. Love, truth, unselfishness, whatever you want to call it, are all figures of yours, but they are found the highest ideal when it is manifested in all as a power. And that becomes your power. So if you want to take that ideal, which is more deep-rooted, this one, you can pursue, persevere, pass through anything in life, whether it's professional or personal. Because lifestyle, work-life balance is a new cliche today. There is nothing like work-life balance. What is work? Somebody told me beautiful definition. Work means working in the office. Life means going with the family. Oh, that means you have to be married to have work life. So all bachelors don't have work life. Am I right? You don't have life at all. Only work. Okay. Then somebody said, no sir, work-life balance is very simple. It actually says, see, you have to take care of the child, no? Oh, only women have got work-life balance. So men does not have work-life balance. Because they don't require. Because they don't take care of the children anymore. Okay? So work-life balance is not about gender, because I have to take care of domestic chores, I have to take care of guests, I have to take care of children, this one. Work-life balance is actually work and lifestyle balance. And it is a pure management slogan. Work and lifestyle. Because lifestyle includes your health, lifestyle includes your recreation, lifestyle includes your family time, your friends time, your meditation time, okay, your walking time, your contemplation time, whatever you want in it. There are many things that you do beyond what you do. All those things depend. And what it requires, because you have to invest only 3 resources you have. Intellectual resource, emotional resource, which includes, I would say, mental health, strength also. And the third thing is time resource. You have to invest. How do you distribute it amongst these 3 categories? That's all is the issue. There, either you have to increase your resource and add distribution, or reduce your demand. Either of the two you have to do. So balance does not mean. So when you are to weigh, you have to side. No, one side there should be a weight, and another side you will be measured. So we need to look at this issue. So how do you do? Viveka gives these 3 formulas. Just reflect upon these issues. The first and the foremost thing is, anything that we do has to follow a 3H rule. What is the 3H rule? First, feel with your heart. Feel till your head reels. Because you are so immersed in it. The second thing is, once you feel intensively, then think how to act. So that is where your head comes in. And when your feeling is intense and your head has rationalized the way to approach it, deliver it to your hands. That is your third H. If these 3 H's are there, you learn. He also puts one more slogan. Whenever there is a conflict between the head and the heart, follow your heart, not your head. We have a problem. We think head is too superior. But in reality, it is the heart which can. Head has got a limitation. We have 3 trillion neurons. After that, synapses are very limited. And if the synapses number also, they say they are less intelligent also. So you have a limitation in this one. But the moment your heart kicks in, you see how many. I still remember, I was going to Ayyappa, this one. I thought we'll have to walk across. So I had my friend, and friend said, we'll all go together. But one condition, my mother wants to come. Fine, let her come. So she's a diabetic. Fine, she's a diabetic. So what? No, we'll have to take care. That's why I'm coming along with you, because I have to take care of my mother. She's actually, this one, from Pampa you have to walk, no? And she's very particular about it. Every day she goes to Ayyappa temple. So please ensure that we are taking a risk, because she's adamant on going, and she's already 74 years old. But what do I do? I said, let's take it and we'll go. She, every day I have seen her cribbing to go to the bathroom, saying that she has to get up, go on this one, that's happening, because she has a lot of pains and aches. Very difficult to move around. The two for her going to the bathroom itself. I see in Pampa, you know, the telling was tough in those days. It's about nearly 20 years back I'm talking about. And I walk along on a thorny hill, you know. I and my friend are perspiring after the May. This lady is 100 meters forward us. We are worried that if she collapses, we are running behind her. She's walking away. We said, we'll stop here, sit there. She said, no, Ayyappa doesn't agree. She will not sit. We sat sometimes running ahead of her and waiting for a place. But this lady, not a single time she sat anywhere till she had the darshan of Ayyappa. What a power, just because of the feel that I have to see God without making any compromises in me. Not a single time, even written, nothing she said. In fact, she was such a transformed lady, we couldn't believe that she is the person who complains every day at the home. Okay. So your heart can actually surpass all limitations, but not your head. That's why it's always find reasons why not to do, or why to know. But it is going beyond is what the heart kicks in. Then a 3P principle, very simple. Anything that you want to accomplish in life, you have to follow only 3 things. Purity, patience, perseverance. Purity is following your ideal. That's all. If you follow your ideal, you are always pure. Because you have already chosen an ideal. Either I will be unselfish, either I will be truthful all the time, either I will be transparent, I will have integrity, I will always perform with great amount of, I would say, seva or sacrifice, whatever you want to look at. But that ideal is what makes you feel that. And that is where the whole things change. That is purity. Patience, the word, if you go to a gymnasium, overnight your muscles don't get built now. You have to persevere, even if you have gone to swimming also, for you to become, even if you do yoga also, for your entire body to become a little loose or free or light, you require time. Patience. Don't stop perseverance. So when you take up such ideal work, do you think the society is all gaga about it, saying that they will put you garland every day? Okay. I'm sorry. Viveka has an answer for that also. He says, when you follow these principles, the world also follows 3 principles. First, they will ridicule you. Suppose you are a great truth sayer. Everybody will say, okay. Will they not ridicule you? If you start doing NSS work every day, oh, great service worker. Okay, great social worker. Everybody will ridicule you. This is the way the world is. The first thing that the world does is ridicule you. If you have the strength, not the intellectual strength, your Atma Bala, this is where the strength comes in. If you have the spiritual strength, if you can withstand the ridicule, even when we started off in SPY in Mysore Medical College in 1984, everybody used to call us BSWs. We didn't know what BSW actually meant. One day we took courage and asked one of our friends, BSW means what? Oh, bloody social workers. Because we were collecting physician samples and distributing amongst the patients. We were conducting blood donation camps. We conducted blood donation this month. A year later, we started a rural clinic, and then we were going on every Sunday on rotation. We were nearly 40 of us. So four people used to take a doctor to do the doctoring job, and we used to do all the paramedical nursing registration jobs. Okay. So they all thought you are BSWs, bloody social workers. So ridicule is the way to move forward by the society. Then if you say that you have the courage to withstand that, which you automatically get when you follow your ideal, you follow the three principles of 3H and 3P, the society doesn't keep quiet. It will start putting you hurdles. So the next stage of your evolution is resistance. So people will start this one, they'll put hurdles to you. Then at least they will stop. Hoping. But if you have the courage, the inner strength, which again you get if you follow the top 6 slogans, then what will happen? There is an inevitable stage of the world's acceptance. So you have to pass through 3 stages. Ridicule, resistance, then acceptance. And I'm sure even love marriages go through this. Am I right? You might have seen your friends, your relatives, your acquaintances going through the same process. So world is always like that. Ridicule first, resistance next, then comes the inevitable stage of acceptance. That is where you go. So when you work in this stream and able to this one, you will accomplish whatever your goal is. So that means whatever your doctoring profession and whatever your changes you want, they will definitely accept. We need to have the wherewithal. So knowledge is not about what you read in your book. Knowledge is what you bring it out from yourself. And that is what Viveka says, education is the manifestation of the perfection already in man. We have put a veil here. We are putting more and more layers because we are in winter all the time. Okay. Throw away all those veils. The real bliss, the real capacity of yours emerge out. And that is where you will be able to face this one. And for that, so only way, that is why I said, at this point of time, Vivekananda top says, be a Buddha, not a beggar. What's the difference? Do you understand what is a Buddha and what is a beggar? No. A Buddha was a king, so he first became a king. Then he renunciated everything. A beggar, so a Buddha is begging because he wants to kill his ego. Whereas a beggar is begging because he wants to fill his stomach. Okay? That is why a beggar's respect and a Buddha's respect you can compare. Who gets more respect? Swamiji gives it a beautiful way of looking at the and very related to medicine. He says, work like a heart. How should you work? Work like your heart. Have you seen your heart even stopping? Has it stopped? Your clinical center is next. So trauma, you can go and learn what happens when you do, when it stops and what you need to do and how much tension and pressure everybody goes through when a heart stops. Okay, work like a heart. What's the beauty of the heart? The heart takes blood from every part of the body, right from the little toe below. It takes, every blood comes back to your heart, no? And what does it do after collecting everything? Just gives it off. Correct? Everything goes out into the entire body, well nourished. Correct? Oxygenated blood goes into every stream. So now the entire blood goes out. So the heart, your wealth also should be accumulated only to be given off. So Vivekananda was never against accumulation of wealth. But he said work for, it should get you the wealth. It should fulfill your desire, but it should actually be so detached that you have to give it up to this one. Why the heart? You know, for its survival, what it is? There are a lot of physicians and anesthetists. And of course, the pathologist who knows the most in everything. How much does the coronary stake? Because heart, for it to survive, it requires the coronary supply. Am I right? How much does it retain? 5%. So it takes the entire wealth, blood from everybody, ceaselessly carry on, it retains 5%. The rest 95% is all given off to the rest of the body. So our work should follow the heart, which is again within you, not outside you. Correct? So if you are able to get these things going, I'm sure whether you are a lab technician, whether you are a doctor, whether you are an Ayurvedic physician or a physiotherapist, it doesn't matter. Because ultimately, these principles make up your life. And these principles of life ensures that you are eternally contented all the time. And of course, we are all ultimately here looking for happiness. Am I right? And the goal of happiness is just this formula. Okay? Or the path to happiness is this. I'll stop here.